If this land could talk or remember, what would it say?
Okay, just to make sure it's clear, fuck you. Shut up. Shut up and go fuck yourself. Fuck you and fuck you. Take your I don't give a fuck, man. I don't give a fuck about you. Go the fuck home. Nobody fucking cares about your bullshit. You walk around with your fucking tailgate party and your goddamn nonsense. Nobody fucking cares. Exactly. Put your fucking camera away. Shut up your fucking ass, piece of shit. You got fucking fuck you, and fuck you. There, you got to get my fucking statement last time? Fuck off. Go fuck yourself.
And welcome, everybody. Oh my goodness. Let me start this stream off correctly here. I think we're gonna need this today. Cracking open a nice Mike's Hard Blue Freeze to start the day off. Good freaking Lord. Have we had some developments? Folks, I wasn't planning on doing a stream this week. It's my vacation week. I've taken a vacation this week. 3 minutes late and gay. Hello, Adipose. I was supposed to be taking a vacation this week, by the way. I did have plans to go to a Comic-Con this weekend, but I decided something in my gut told me try not to drink on Sunday. I try not to do anything on Sunday except work. But I'm on vacation from work this weekend. It is very good, Haven. I see a lot of people in the chat here. Ragnarok Knight, our supreme Canucklehead. Welcome. We have Tom P. We have Adifos. We have, I saw Ellie earlier. Good day, everyone. Gamer at Zero is in the chat. Saw you too. All right. I try not to do anything on Sundays, to be honest. I was planning on taking a nice, easy week this week. I've had a very tough week. A very tough week. Hello, Blaze Firestorm. For those of you who have been watching the fireworks on Twitter, and watching the nukes fly on Twitter this week, hello, Twisted Puppet. You're here until D&D? Sounds good. Welcome. That was entertaining this week. Hello, Mike Walters. How you doing? It was very entertaining this week. Dealing with a bunch of open mouth breathing lunatics on Twitter all week. I honestly have not had that much fun. Probably since the weeks leading up to Kitchener Comic-Con. Can't wait to make a character in WWE 2K22. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I honestly wasn't planning on making a podcast about that because I'm just like, you know what? These people want attention, so I'm not going to give them what they want. I'm not going to talk about them. I'm going to take my Saturday off. I'm going to relax. I'm going to take it easy, and I'm just going to chill until I have to work back on Monday. But the internet was like, no, Crumb, you are not going to take it easy this weekend. Holy shit. Did we have a bombshell dropped by Lindsay Lovridge? None other. Hello, Randy Scribner Jr. How you doing? None other than ANN's finest, Lindsay Lovridge, actually dropping a breaking news. For the first time in her career, actually dropping some truly worthwhile breaking news. So for those of you who might have missed the stream last week, let me recap very quickly what the topic was last week. So we had discussed the Daman Mills allegations, right? We had read over the chat logs. We had read over the allegation from the Google document, the now deleted Google document, which I still have on the screen here. I still have the archive. We read over that information, right? And I went and analyzed the allegations. Now, there was a lot of stuff that I was very critical of. on the list of allegations, right? On the Google document, I was very skeptical about a lot of stuff that was on it, right? Because, I mean, the people that were here, you guys saw that. I went through and I picked out the parts that I didn't like, right? I said, look, we're missing context here. It was very specific in these parts. It's not specific in these parts, blah, 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 blah. I went through all of it. And the document alone, the Google document itself, was not enough to convince me that this was telling the truth. It definitely felt that there was elements of truth in the Google document. However, like I told you guys, what swayed my opinion of this being another case of a frivolous Me Too versus a case of there might actually be something here was Daman Mills himself coming out and stating that the interactions that he admitted that they were consensual. He admitted that the interactions had happened. He took ownership. He admitted that these things took place. So then we went on to read the chat logs, which I needed to down a lot of alcohol to get through. Oh boy. It's good to see you back too, Tom. Good to see you back. So we had to go through the chat logs and see a grown-ass adult speaking to an under 18-year-old as if they were both 13 years old and asking, now remember folks, it is, as far as I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, it is illegal. It is a federal offense in the United States to request naughty photos from someone who is not 18. From someone who is not 18 years old. That is a federal offense, right? So, even putting aside the fact that later on, Duncan, the accuser here, Duncan was forced to retract his statement, which we're going to get to in a little bit here. This is absolutely demonic, by the way. He was forced to retract his statement and say that he wasn't honest about it. Throwing out his Google document, which, in my opinion, was flimsy to begin with. Throwing out that document and just looking strictly at the chat logs and strictly at the fact that Daman admitted that this happened. There is a federal crime taking place. On social media, he's talking, whether jokingly or not. Remember, folks, people have gotten criminal records. People have been put on watch lists. People have been called and had to be put on, child predatory lists or whatever you want to call them for less than what Daman Mills has done here. Just because it was a joke, right? Doesn't excuse anything here. Based on the Facebook posts that Daman Mills had made, based on the text messages exchanged, there is a federal crime being committed there. And that is not my opinion. That is by the definition of law, by the definition of things. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I can't tell you these things from a law perspective. From a layman's understanding of how the things are and seeing how other things have happened, there's something that broke a law here. Ken is Kanyeing right now. Whether or not, so first of all, folks, let me preface this by saying, Because a law was broken does not necessarily mean that Duncan or whomever else, anybody can break a law, right? Anybody at all can break a law. That does not necessarily guarantee a conviction. That does not guarantee a conviction. We saw as much with Illich Guardiola, right? We know for a fact that Illich had an explicit relationship with a minor, under 16 years old, by the way. We know that Illich Guardiola got a minor pregnant, under 16, by the way. We know that Illich Guardiola had police reports and was being investigated for impregnating a below 16-year-old. We know that to be a fact. However, Illich was not convicted of inappropriate behavior or breaking a law when clearly he broke a law. He was not convicted of this because the victim in the situation and her mother refused to cooperate with the investigation for whatever reason. Illich ended up getting married to said person, and I don't know, I guess they live happily ever after now. But that's the point here. Even though Daman may have broken a law, even though Daman may have requested lewd photos, explicit photos from someone who is not of age to give explicit photos, jokingly or not, that is a violation of a law. Whether he gets convicted of that, we have no idea. Unfortunately, likely not. Unfortunately. But this is where things get very interesting. This is very interesting here. So, shortly after the article hits, shortly after Anime News Network's article reveals that Daman did these really, really horrific things. Apparently, now I'm going to preface this by saying, last you knew to this day, Illich is still married to that girl. Good for him. Good for him, and I hope he's a good husband, because he's a terrible person. So, I want to preface this by saying that I don't have an account on this website. I know people who do. Most of the people on the website don't like me, and that's fine. Even though a certain clowny thinks it's a gotcha that people on the website make fun of me. They make fun of everybody. If you think what they say about me is terrible, you should see what they say about you. Just saying that. If you want to talk about, we're going to talk about clowning in a little bit here. But if you want to talk about people who make bad taste jokes about infants, you're barking up the wrong tree when you're coming after me. Let me tell you that. However, I digress. I had a lot of people. My inbox has literally been like exploding this past week, by the way. I have had so many screenshots above and beyond my normal sets that I get from people that are being like, look at what these idiots are saying about you. I've been getting screenshots, I have been getting links, I have been getting archives sent to me from like all sorts of different things. Apparently, shortly after the article hit, there was an account on the farms, for those of you who don't know, the Kiwi farms. There was an account on the Kiwi farms that had posted, shockingly, I know, you guys won't believe this, an anonymous account on the Kiwi farms posted a dox. I know, it's crazy. Absolutely insane. Shocking, even. Hello, Stan. Oh my God, can we sidebar for a moment? Stan, good Lord. How are you alive after listening to 2 hours of just absolute harpy screeching? Good Lord. Did I get that thing you sent me, Ken? I don't know. I have to check. I have yours going through an FBI filter, so. Well, yours going through an FBI filter first. But back to this. So I had several people let me know that there was an account on the farms that doxed young Duncan, unfortunately. Which, I mean, you're a person of interest, you're going to have your shit posted all over the farms. Let me just say that first of all. Folks, if you are interesting, this is my observations. This is my observations of the Kiwi farms, by the way. If you're an interesting person, or whatever, I can't hear what you said. You're an interesting person. You're probably going to catch attention of somebody on the Kiwi farms, whether good or bad, and you probably will be doxxed at some point. It's just the way life is. So try to be as uninteresting as possible if that's a thing that scares you, I guess. So moving on. Apparently, this account was made basically that day, and this account is very likely connected with somebody who knows Duncan personally and who is potentially good friends with either Daman himself or somebody who is best friends with Daman. Now, I don't know this for certain. However, there were screenshots, and Lindsay even mentions this later in tweets that we're going to show. There were screenshots that were posted by the account that went on to the Kiwi farms for the explicit purpose of doxing Duncan. It's my understanding that literally the only posts that they've ever made were regarding Duncan and how much of a quote unquote terrible person he is, which, you know, is always a red flag. But the screenshots they posted were of they included somebody else's posts, apparently naming names, and this person had their posts. The person that had been screenshotted had their posts set to friends only. So that, unfortunately for the person that was posting, narrowed the list down considerably as to who their identity was. Farms pays attention to this shit, by the way. They pay very close attention to that. So people have figured out potentially who, or at least what circle of people it could have been that were using this account. Now, any sort of thing could happen. They could have gotten screenshots from somebody who was friends with this person, and it could be a completely different person posting it. However, I digress. The point here is somebody who was connected with Duncan and with Daman provided screenshots to somebody who went on the farms and posted all of it to try and intimidate Duncan. Because if you remember, throughout the entire document, Duncan wanted privacy. Duncan feared retribution. He feared getting attacked. Duncan feared getting doxxed. He didn't want people to know who he was. Largely, and like I called before, this is largely possibly, I don't know because I haven't talked to him, it's possibly because he didn't want people to know that he went through this. Potentially because he's afraid of being branded as gay. Potentially because he was ashamed of being bi at one point in time. Who knows? We don't know. Duncan won't talk. So we can't get this stuff. We can only extrapolate from what was in his document. And from what I was reading, and from what other people were reading of the document as well, it really does seem that he was ashamed to have these types of feelings. Because in the text messages we saw, he was sharing I love yous and pleasantries with Daman the entire time during the selected DMs that were shared. So we don't know the full context of their discussions. We don't know how well their friendship was. We don't know if it was reciprocated. Daman says it wasn't. Daman says that his feelings were unrequited. Who knows? The DMs that we saw, they were sharing I love yous, etc., etc. It made it seem that they were a lot closer than what was being led to believe. However, it is possible that Duncan just didn't feel the same level. So, facts that we do know. Daman was in the same circle of friends that Duncan was. Right? We've seen that through the screenshots. We've seen it since the Facebook posts have come out. Daman and his friends, Daman was friends with Duncan's friends. Big circle of friends that were around there. Yes, if you have not watched last week's stream, I strongly suggest pausing here and going watch last week's stream and then coming back to this. Duncan's interested in doing an interview with you and myself. I'm down for it. If you could help answer questions he might have about his sexuality. I have reached out. I have not seen, to my understanding, okay, folks, if there is anybody out there at all that knows how to 100% guarantee contact Duncan, I am offering journalistic confidentiality with anything that we discuss in private. If he wants to be interviewed, he can come on and like use a VTuber avatar, or he can like use a voice changer. He can come on the stream and talk if he wants to. There's no pressure. Ken is graciously offering to sit in on this as well. Ken is a therapist that has helped, that specializes in helping men through sexual assault stuff as well, as far as I understand. This is what Ken does. Like, this is Ken's bread and butter. This type of situation is Ken's bread and butter right here. So if anybody can, because I've, through people telling me that he may own this account or he may be that account, I reached out to the only account that I potentially think could be his, and I don't think he's read the message at all. So I don't know how to get a hold of him. And no, I don't have any grudge against him for not talking to me. You freaking brainlets. But he left his Twitter. See if you can get him on Facebook. Well, I tried on Facebook. I don't trust Twitter, right? I don't trust Twitter because anyone could have made that account. So I'm not 100% if that was actually Duncan. But I did go through a few different things to figure out another account on Facebook might have been his, but I don't know. It was listed as a parody account, so I don't know if he actually looks at it. So, not sure if he would want to have a therapist on stream help, but well, this is the thing, Ken. It's completely up to Duncan how far he wants to talk about this. If he wants to have a discussion off the record with you and me, we can set that up. If he wants to have a discussion off the record with just you, we can set that up. If he wants to have a discussion on stream with both of us, we can set that up. This is 100%. We want to support Duncan in this. I've had people coming out to me and say, well, you should just stop talking about it because blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to stop talking about this, period. All right, folks? I'm not going to stop talking about this. I ain't going to do it. I ain't going to talk about it. Well, I ain't going to stop talking about it. I'm going to talk about this until this shit gets fucking fixed. Because the second that you stop talking about it, this is the second that these people get away with it. So, like, I haven't heard one fucking peep from Duncan telling me to please stop. Not one. I've heard it from everybody else but Duncan. And if this is quote-unquote hurting Duncan, he certainly hasn't reached out to me to tell me so. So stuff it up your ass. You enabling fucking pricks. So what I will say, so that account came out, and then people on Twitter, this is where the funny business comes in, right, guys? Remember when the allegations first came out? And the people who were originally Listen and Believe Oh, I completely agree, Ken. We're going to get to that in a little bit, too. I completely agree. The listen and believe crowd, when the allegations first came out, were all about, oh, well, let's wait and see. We have to hold on, wait a minute. We have to wait and see. This could be a huge misunderstanding. We got to wait, right? And then all of a sudden, as soon as Anime News Network posts Duncan's retraction, right? Duncan comes out and says, under pressure, because he's fearing his identity being released, and he's fearing getting blowback from the industry and his friend group. All of a sudden, the listen and believe crowd were, oh, we knew it. Yeah, this is a lie. He's a liar. This is a lie. This is just a big blah, 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 blah. They were on top of it, right? We had Ron Toye out here running deference for Damon, saying, oh, well, we don't know the whole story. Just wait until, like, oh, Nikki's going to have egg on his face when the truth comes out. What? First of all, how does a Ron Toye know about this details of the story anyways? Your best guess is Duncan's afraid to go public again. If he had issues with people sharing the incident, he would be trying to stop it, even if he can't control it. This is what I'm saying. I believe that Duncan is turtling right now. So, whether he wants to talk about it again, whether he's trying to preserve his own safety, I have no idea. No clue. Haven't chatted with him. Haven't talked to him. Haven't had the chance. No clue. But how does a Ron Toye know details about this, by the way? How does a Ron Toye know details that other voice actors in the industry know? Because he's heard about it, right? He's heard details about it. Because he's an actual agent to these VAs, that's what I'm saying. How does he know intimate details about this, by the way? So, all of these people that were, hold on, wait a minute, now they're snapping in line. Now they're just going on the attack, right? You're lying. You have to admit that you were wrong. Oh, admit that you're wrong. All week, by the way, I was dealing with these absolute degenerate lunatics coming after me, making up all sorts of nonsense about how I was attacking people for having a miscarriage and stuff like that. First of all, folks, I've had people tell me post facto when I made the Clowny merchandise way back in the day, folks. I'm going to go on record here and say this real quick. When I made the Clowny merchandise, I made a simple phrase. Do I even have I have a glass somewhere? I don't know if I have it handy, but I don't know where I put it. I probably put it to be cleaned somewhere. But I would show you the illegal merchandise. Oh, I see it right now. Hold on. It's out of reach though. It's out of reach. It's Clowny. Don't clowny around, right? Don't clowny around in rainbow lettering with a clown nose over the O in Clowny, right? I think I used Teespring originally. So I put it on like cups, like glasses, shot glasses, like a clock, just random shit. Like a t-shirt, I think. And then like a week or so afterwards, I'm like going through the Teespring store. I see that there's a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of new things. So I just slap it on a bunch of that too. Ends up being like party hats and like party streamers and whatever else. In that pile of things, there was children's clothes. There was the baby blankets and beach towels. Didn't think anything of it. It's a colorful logo that could go on literally anything. Why not? Throw it on there. Somebody out there might want it. Who knows? I don't make money off of merch. I price it so low that the margin is like literal like 0 or pennies. That's it. I just make it so that you guys can buy it and have fun with it. I don't really care what you do with it. So then I get accused of making fun of the fact that Clowny had lost her infant son. News to me, I didn't know she had one. I didn't know she had a kid, let alone lost a kid. Didn't know. So and this goes as far as like people that have absolutely no idea about me. You don't remember a Clowny beach towel? No, it was gone before it could be it was gone before it could be advertised. Because she wrote this big long sob story fan fiction about how I made merchandise specifically to attack her dead child, which was not the case. Guess the Wendigo blinked part of your memory. I didn't get a chance to advertise it because it was gone. But they didn't yeet my channel, not my channel, they didn't yeet my store for that, by the way. They yeeted my store for copyright infringement of Dr. Pepper. So take that for what you will. Guess they didn't believe her. But anyway. So I just didn't do the merchandise again because whatever. They're like so proud of getting that deleted, then go for it. But this goes down to a bunch of people not knowing much about me at all. Years ago, my partner and I suffered through a miscarriage. After Clowny was going on and playing victim about how I was attacking her for losing her kid and blah 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 blah, I had several people send me messages to and send me images, insensitive jokes and stuff like that, saying, "Oh, you should do this, you should counter it with this," and blah 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 blah. One thing I don't do is make light of miscarriages because I've personally been through one. I know how horrifying and I know how harrowing that experience is. So I don't make fun of that. Never would. Welcome, Gav. Yeah, they're just trying to take a low blow at me. So again, I would never make fun of miscarriages. I would never make fun of losing a child because that's a harrowing experience. I've been through it. There's lines that I don't cross. I'll get down and dirty about a lot of shit. That's one line I will not cross. So for her and her crew to weaponize that against me, I mean, it just goes to show you their character. So all week I've been putting up with people attacking me and going after me and blah, blah, blah. All this because... Well, for that clown crew, it was because people were sending me screenshots of them taking shots at me from behind a block wall, by the way. And I would sit there and laugh at them, and they got mad. And so I post a photo because I'm pretty sure at this point, that Clowny has another kid. She has a family. She's at least been successful in retaining one child, as far as I understand. I don't know her. I don't know her life. I don't care. I don't care about her. I don't sit here obsessively trying to figure out everything. I'm pretty sure at some point in time someone had mentioned, because they wanted me to like post photos and stuff like this of like her and whatever else. I'm pretty sure they wanted me to post photos of her and her kid. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's stupid. But I'm pretty sure she has a kid. So I post the photo, I post the meme, the 8-year-old meme of The Sims, of the girl sitting on the computer while there's a Sims baby on the ground burning, right? If you played The Sims before, you know these things can happen. It's randomly it's a baby crib can just burst into flames in The Sims just because it's The Sims. So I said, "Is this you?" Because she's literally spending all of her time on Twitter attacking me instead of doing literally anything else that she's responsible for. It was a shot like, hey, maybe you should pay attention to anything but your computer right now. But no, they took that as somehow attacking. So this was after the fact if they said that I was attacking her miscarriage. Then now this is somehow even more double downing on attacking her miscarriage. And it's like, well, first of all, that baby was already born in The Sims. And if you understand how The Sims work, a male sim and a female sim sleep in the same bed, and then at some point the female sim thinks about a baby, and then poof, a baby crib appears. That's how babies are born in The Sims. So, horrific, I know. Educational. There we go. Pick is not from The Sims, it's from Your Family Reunion. Cousin Ernie had second-degree burns, but he's good. He's good now. So I've been having these people just absolutely going after me all week. Between them and between the lunatics who have been defending Daman Mills. They have been going after me, trying to do everything they can to discredit me as a person. Now, regardless, guys, if you like me or not, I don't give a shit if you like me or not. Hate me if you want to. Go for it. Hate me. Like me or hate me, I don't care. I don't care. You're not getting a Christmas card from me. That's fine. Stop sharing misinformation. Babies delivered by storks. We're getting to that. We're getting to that, Gav. I talked briefly. I gave the recap. I'm at the point where we're at midweek now. We're going to get to the details. We're going to get to the meat and potatoes here in just a minute. So they've been trying to discredit me and ad hoc me the entire time, or ad hom me the entire time, right? They've been trying to discredit me because they're really, really threatened that I'm getting traction on Twitter. I don't know why. I'm just a nobody, right? I'm just a nobody that has like 3 people liking my stuff, apparently. Until I don't. Until I have like dozens of people liking my things. But hey, I don't care about interactions. I don't care about views. I don't care about any of that stuff. I care about delivering facts. I care about delivering the truth. I care about delivering evidence. Can't say you've played The Sims until you've built a death house. Very true. So, I don't care about internet fame or internet clout, right? Because literally, just whatever, y'all can have it. How dare I have no likes on my tweets, seriously. So I've been bashed and abused and accused of horrific things, accused of crimes this week, by the way. Accused of crimes. All in the intent to try and discredit me and get people to stop listening to me. Even our good friend Butnick out here trying to get people to disavow me. I mean, sure, dude. Why don't you work on your 7th Twitter account? So yeah, it really shows the personality when they only care about likes and follows, seriously. You think they're going after him because he's gay? Tell you if you're wrong, but you think they aren't going after him because he's gay. So when someone like myself calls out bullshit, that's why I'm getting noticed? Might be. It might be. The thing is Daman Mills is a very popular individual, from what I can tell. They're downplaying his involvement with Dragon Ball because the Dragon Ball cast is very close to him. They're very involved with him, by the way. He was a protege to Chris Sabat. He's one of the favorites, one of the go-tos. He stepped in as Frieza's voice actor after Ayers departed this planet, rest his soul. He's the next best thing, right? So let me just say this real quick. There's a bunch of voice actors. He's a discount Vic. He's controllable, though, Twisted. He's controllable. That's what they like. These voice actors have known about this for going on 6 months now. Funimation knew about this in November. Sony knew about this in November. Crunchyroll knew about this in November. By the way. And if that's not disgusting enough, they still gave Daman new roles. By the way. Funny that Daman gets a new role, and the day after he gets a new role, Anime News Network drops the article. By the way. Do you think Daman would have got that role if Anime News Network had dropped the article when they got the information? Don't think so, right? Would have looked really bad for Funimation's merger with Crunchyroll, wouldn't it? Would have looked really bad. Well, you know what else would look really bad? If people in Funimation, let's say assistant directors and people in the industry, were to contact Anime News Network and demand that they retract the article. So first of all, let me debunk the rumor that Duncan retracted his statement because of the post on Kiwi Farms. He did not. Duncan had actually requested his retraction, I believe 2 or 3 days before the post on Kiwi Farms happened. Before they posted his docs and before the person posted his identity on Kiwi Farms, which I'm pretty sure is probably part of the contingency of having that article removed, by the way, was either you retract your statement, get this article removed, or we're posting your identity. Probably sure that's part of it. The retraction and the posting happened several days apart. The retraction happened before the posting on Kiwi Farms. So for the rumor out there that Kiwi Farms doxed Duncan, and that's the reason why Duncan recanted his statement, false. Unequivocally false. Because Duncan sent his retraction, according to Lindsay Loveridge, the person who edited the article in Anime News Network itself, he retracted it before the Kiwi Farms posting happened. Unequivocally false then. Anime News Network also received communications from an ADR director and a Funimation voice actor. Same person, from what I understand, that they are a voice actor and ADR director at Funimation, now Crunchyroll, demanding that ANN remove the article. And we're going to get into that. First thing I want to show you, though, comes from Lindsay Lovridge. Now, this happened last week, I believe. So this is March 14th, so about 6 days ago, from Lindsay Lovridge. We're going to go through this real quick. So she posts, this is after the retraction happens. She posts on Twitter this big long thread after the retraction happened. This was her response. Her official response You just look up that Twitter thread. Yeah. Is she scared to come on? Who, Lindsay? I mean, I put it out there. I don't know if anybody's like forwarded it on because she's blocked me. So I have no way of contacting her. Oh my God, Ken, you are horrific. I love it, but you're horrific. Unfortunately, if I post that on here, she's going to strike my my videos for having her disgustingly ugly face on here. So this is Lindsay's response to all of the people saying that she was a liar, she was blah 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 blah. Again, I don't like Lindsay. I have no respect for her left. I'm not posting it, Ken. I ain't doing it. I have no respect for her left. However, I will remain true to my word. I will leave an open invitation if Lindsay has the balls to come on here and discuss this. I will give her the same decorum that I gave Ron Toye. I will invite her on. I will be cordial. I will refrain from insulting her. I will give her 100% honesty and a fair shot to explain what has been going on here. So if anybody out there, I don't think she's going to come on. If anybody out there can let her know, then she's welcome to come on. She has an open invitation to come on the show. I will give her the same cordial welcome as I did Ron Toye. I had him on for the show 3 times. I can't stand the man. I was able to be friendly with him and got my head taken off by people who support Vic for having him on 3 times. But hey, I'll do the same thing for Lindsay. You want to come on here and you want to talk about this? You want to clear your conscience a little bit? Because it's apparently clear that you've been racked with nerves over this. Come on the show and talk about it. Come on the show and talk about it. So in her opening statements here, it's appropriate. I think it's up to the audience and industry to decide at this point what's appropriate. I'm going to try and toe a line here just to say from a writer's perspective that these stories are emotionally so very, very taxing. That said, readers, fans, the industry have to come to their own conclusion. This stuff speaks to me like she is really wanting to say something, but she's not allowed to. That's awesome, Ken. Thank you. Exactly. Tons of people watching. Lindsay, you haven't opened up. You have me dead to rights. There's at least 3 people that are seeing me say that you have an open invitation. You have an open invitation, and I promise to be cordial. So this here tells me that she wants to say something. She really, really wants to say something, but she just can't. If the retracted allegations were true, we have several repeated non-consensual sexual situations that happened 7 to 8 years ago between a 16 and 17-year-old and a 20 to 21-year-old. If the allegations were true at the time they happened, they would likely qualify as sexual battery in Ohio. This, again, Lindsay, if you want to say something, come out on my show and say it. 100%. I will not hold judgment, at least while you're on the show. I will be friendly to you, at least while you're on the show. But there you have it, which is more than I can say for a lot of people. The other part behind this as well, I saw a very, very intelligent person on Twitter arguing that there is no proof that there is no proof in the text messages that Daman was actually talking with Duncan. Let me just put it this way. If any of Duncan's friends were the ones receiving those text messages, by the way, they were all under 16 at the time. Every single one of them. So your argument that it doesn't because you can't identify that he was talking to Duncan at the time, that doesn't qualify as sexual battery? Yeah, give your head a shake. You know exactly who you're talking to. exactly who they're talking about. So Lindsay links the Criminal Code of Ohio here, specifically 2 and 3 listed here. You guys can look this up if you want to. I'm not going to open up more tabs here. This is a 3rd-degree felony in Ohio, and those found guilty are required to register on the state sex offender list and can serve 1 to 5 years in prison. As far as I understand, the statute of limitations is very, very long and is still active in this case as well, by the way. As she says here, the statute of limitations has not expired on the above case. There you go. The Ohio civil statute limits for victims of childhood sexual abuse capped at age 30. And as far as I understand, Duncan's age 24, 25 or something. Based on the ages that were disclosed by Duncan and the DMs, extrapolating that time now. Exactly, Jeff. And its criminal statute is capped at age 30. And its criminal statute of limitations for victims of sexual child abuse is capped at age 43. So Duncan has some time if he wants to change his mind about this. I do not know if Ohio defines childhood as pre-16, since the age of consent is 16 Ohio, or if it's pre-18. My understanding of this, again, not a lawyer in this situation, so it could be argued completely differently, but my layman understanding of this is teen or like pre-teen or whatever else is like below 16. So like the age of consent's below 16. Childhood, I think, is 13, if I'm not mistaken. But if you're requesting lewd or explicit photos from somebody before they're 18, that violates the federal pornography law. You cannot request or take photos of somebody who is under 18. Federal law. That violates pornography rules. You have to be 18. Models have to be 18 or over. If the above scenario would qualify as adulthood, then it's 1 or 2 years from the date the alleged incident expired, or 25 years after commission, conspiracy, complicity, or attempt to commit the offense for the criminal. I'm laying this out to note the seriousness of how of now retracted allegations. I've seen at least one person who should know better, Ron Toye, trying to throw these allegations around like it's an awkward teen breakup. Ron Toye, Chris Rager. I don't waste ink on awkward teen breakups. Where the industry is at now, since no one is saying anything and they're hedging their bets on to see how bad it gets, it has to decide if, number 1, they believe the retracted allegations, and number 2, where the line is for seeing some change. I agree. The rare time that we agree, Lindsay. The rare time that we're going to agree here. It's telling that individuals like Chris Rager, as soon as the ANN article hit, Chris Rager was running around posting the article saying, see, you're all stupid, you're all idiots. You have Ron Toye saying, we knew the whole time. The truth came out. How did they know? We also know that Lindsay, I don't remember where she stated it, but at some point in time, Lindsay made mention that there's a video call that she had with Duncan, which is why she has a bit more of a belief than just text messaging. She had a face-to-face call with Duncan. So she could see his face. She could see he was lying to her. Sorry you're not enjoying your vacation right now, Andrea, thank you. I appreciate it. This is just important to talk about, though. This is just important to talk about. So now, this all happened last week. If this was not bad enough, this happened last week. I'm going to show right now what Lindsay posted yesterday. Lindsay. If you would just come on the show and talk about this, get it all sorted out. She posted this yesterday at 6:23. Almost 24 hours ago. Hi, this is the only thing I'm going to say about the recent Mills article because it bothers me enough that I have trouble sleeping. This will probably be screenshot and archived. Lindsay, real talk. Differences aside, okay, from journalist to journalist, I 100% would love for you to clear your conscience. 100% would love for you to clear your conscience and get this off your shoulders because you're clearly not comfortable with what you're being directed to do. There are plenty of outlets out there that are better than Anime News Network. There are opportunities out there that afford you more integrity in your position, which you clearly value your integrity as a journalist. This is clearly something that's bothering you on a core level. And you have to ask yourself if this is worth compromising your morals to shield. Because you know more than you're saying. And I know it, and everybody that's reading your tweets know it. And the worst thing is, you know it too. And she made it so that only people who follow her can reply, or mention that can reply. So let's take a look. During the week of the retraction and the subsequent admission of fabrication, which that was fake, by the way. So, during the week of the retraction, she doesn't say which day, which is very interesting. She doesn't say which day. So this could have been before the retraction even happened. It could have been the day of the retraction or after the retraction. We don't know. We don't know. But it was the week of the retraction. A voice actor and ADR director attempted. So this could be two people. It could be one person. Attempted to get ANN to take take down the articles. She forgot to put take down, but take our articles. The person stated that if we didn't, this is the most heinous part, by the way. The person stated that if we didn't, Mills may commit AnHero, and we would have to write about that. Let me say that one more time, folks. The person, the ADR director / voice actor, tried to get Anime News Network to pull the articles, otherwise threatening them, saying that if they didn't, Mills was going to jump off a tall building and it would be Anime News Network's fault. The day of the retraction, Duncan was doxxed, and if the screenshot is authentic, the person that did so probably already knew who he was, or at the very least shared a mutual friend with him on Facebook. So again, Duncan had requested the retraction days before. So Lindsay's not being completely honest here. Duncan requested the retraction, I believe, on a Saturday or Sunday. The doxing happened a day or two after. Let's be real here. The doxing was by Anime News Network. It was not done by Kiwi Farms. Shocking, I know. Anime News Network failed to secure images and failed to redact his name from documents that were stored on a public server on Anime News Network. This was not done by Lindsay. This was done by someone who knows what they were doing. So let's assume for the sake of argument for a minute that if Mills was suicidal, should ANN have taken the allegations down? Absolutely not. No. If Mills was so here's the thing. If Mills was actually suicidal about it, no. Mills admitted to it being the truth. Mills admitted to the interactions being consensual. If his conscience can't live with the fact that he's being exposed for being a disgusting, perverted, horrific human being, then no. It's not Anime News Network's job to fluff his ass. It's not Anime News Network's job to shield him. He should face justice. And whether that's justice in a courtroom or his own brand of justice, he should face justice. I prefer him going and answering in front of a jury of his peers. That's my preference. I prefer him having his day in court. But if his conscience can't allow him to take responsibility for his action, that's up to him. There is no moral obligation for a journalist to change reporting on the truth because somebody else can't handle what they did. You can contrast this. Let's contrast this with the Alakaloka situation, right? Let's contrast this with the Alakaloka situation, where the allegations were brought out. Alec he did not admit to it. He had absolutely no defense. Everyone immediately thought he was guilty. And he decided to AnHero instead of fighting the allegations. Daman Mills admitted, at least in part, admitted this happened. He admitted and stated that it was consensual, which legally it cannot be. Oh, I completely agree, Ken. But here's the thing. That is the tough part here about being a journalist. You're welcome, Martuk. If Mills was legally in the right by Ohio law, but the morality was wrong, it could mean he was in the clear. Then he gets his day in court. If he was legally correct, but morally incorrect, get a fucking lawyer and go to court. There's no room for trying to remove yourself if you don't have a guilty conscience over it. You don't get to do that. No, I'm not. Ken, I completely understand. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not yelling at you, Ken. This is for your own good. He was worried that people wouldn't understand the laws and the morality of it. It's not up. It doesn't matter. Look at what happened to Vic. Literally nothing was brought in front of a court for Vic. At all. And people didn't understand the laws and morality of it. People didn't understand the laws and morality of it. If this is the case, Vic hugged me. If this is the case with Daman, get a fucking lawyer and fight back. Simple. Simple as that. Don't go out first. First of all, don't go out and admit that you did the thing that you're being accused of. Number one. Don't do that. Number one thing, don't, as your first action, come out and say, oh, everything was consensual. Don't confirm that the stuff happened and then claim that something that couldn't be consensual was consensual. And I'm not talking about the interactions of the age of consent bullshit. I'm talking about the text messages where he's literally requesting explicit photos and requesting to do explicit things to somebody who is underage. Period. At that point, it's not hearsay. At that point, he's confirmed it. He's confirmed it to be the truth. So it's at that point, no. I don't think that Anime News Network has a moral responsibility to remove that article. And the fact that Daman is apparently, allegedly, because we haven't heard it from Daman, we heard it through a third party. Allegedly threatening AnHero. If Daman is actually at that point and saying, if you don't remove this article, I will remove myself, that to me speaks more to his guilt than anything else. That to me tells me that he's trying to use that as leverage. He's trying to guilt at this point because he knows the truth can't get him out. He knows that the truth will not be able to clear his name. That's my read on the situation. And if that's the case, all of his friends that are sending messages to Duncan and sending messages to Lindsay, who clearly told Duncan that if Duncan didn't retract his statements, then Daman was going to end himself. Clearly intimidating people against witnessing against him. Clearly using emotional blackmail against people. Clearly. Innocent people don't do this. And if the people that are in his friend circle that are enabling this, that are sending these messages out, if their first response is to send a message to Anime News Network or send a message to the person that made allegations against him, that's their first response, and not picking up the fucking phone and calling for fucking help, not calling for a fucking wellness check, you need new friends, Daman. Because you ain't got any. You got 0 people that care about you, apparently. Not one fucking person called for help for you. Because if that's the case, you should be speaking to a therapist. You should be in a hospital. But no. You have people that are more concerned with rug sweeping for child abuse. You have more people that are concerned with protecting their own image because they know that if you go under, you're taking them with you. So we're gonna keep reading here. I can say that with certainty that the legal communications between Duncan Mills and his lawyer were shared within the industry. Also disgusting, by the way. Also disgusting, by the way. So Mills waived his privilege, shared privileged information with the industry so that he could smear Duncan's real name, which I want to pull this up for a second here, because I want to show you guys something on here real quick. This is Duncan's original statement, by the way. There is a statement in here. I think it's on the second page. Yeah, here. Time would pass and he would find any reason in the world to come to his home. He would speak poorly of girls I would be talking to and trash my family and I amongst his peers of actors. I was always the bad guy. He would trash Duncan and his family amongst his peers of actors and always make Duncan out to be the bad guy. He apparently also shared all legal communications within his peers of actors. This is a key similarity between these two, by the way. Because if somebody out there wants to tell me that Duncan is lying, I'm going to point to this, because this shows behavior that is consistent across the board. That lends credence to what Duncan has been saying about Damon. The ADR director / VA, so now she's confirming it's the same person, had information about those communications that would only be gained by reading them. This includes Duncan's email. This includes Duncan's email. This includes Duncan's email address, where I'm certain absolutely nobody at Funimation in this little group of vultures emailed him to pressure him, right? There's literally no chance at all that somebody or multiple people had reached out to Duncan via email and threatened him, right? No chance of that at all, right? No chance at all that they would cook up a story about how Damon was going to jump off a roof to get Duncan to retract his statement. Only that they have a history of doing that sort of thing, right? Only if... How did Ron Toye know about this, by the way? If nobody else in the industry got wind of it, how did it get to Ron Toye? If Damon was not close with the cast of Dragon Ball, how did it get into Monica's lap? How did Monica tell that story to Ron? I know his email was shared because Duncan asked me if I had shared it. Of course I had not. It's not possible. It is possible but not provable outside of being shared by Duncan that he got the same communications ANN did about removing articles, that doing so could result in an AnHero. Wonder who could have done that. This is witness tampering, folks. If this was actually in an active court case, this would be considered witness tampering. The letter stating the allegations were fabricated came a few days after the retraction. and again was worded in a way in hopes we would take the articles down. So again, looks like he was pressured into sending a second statement. Oddly, the same thing that the ADR director and voice actor wanted, suddenly Duncan wants. But he was never threatened, right, guys? For the industry members and others who are pursuing that end, the industry members and Ron Toye who are pursuing the takedown of the Anime News Network article. So this is already confirming, by the way, that we have multiple industry members trying to browbeat Anime News Network into taking the article down. The same people, I guarantee you, if they're emailing Anime News Network, they are emailing Duncan because that scumbag released Duncan's email to his friends and sent them after Duncan. Is that something an innocent person does, by the way? Where's all these people that are coming out saying, "Oh, you need to stop telling your fans to attack. Stop telling your fans to attack people. It's bad. You have to call your fans off. You have to call your fans off." Fuck you, you disingenuous pricks. You're literally out here telling a victim of sexual assault that they have to fucking retract their statement and say they were lying about it? For what reason? So you can keep your little buddy cozied up? So you can keep your friend in your fucking industry? You snakes? Drain the fucking swamp. For the industry members and the others who are pursuing that end, that's not how journalism works. In the time since my publisher took over ANN, we have only taken down 2 articles, 2 in 20 years. When George Takei was accused and his accuser recanted, those articles were not taken down. They were updated. Same with Kevin Spacey. History doesn't cease to exist when the story changes. Finally, some fucking sense coming out of her mouth. Listen, I hate that a very toxic contingent of the internet jumped on this. I knew that it would happen the moment the document came into my inbox in November. November, by the way. At that time, it was also sent to Sony and others. Sony, Funimation, Crunchyroll, they knew about this since November. Last year, folks. They've known about it for almost 6 fucking months. And they sat on it. And they did nothing. And they gave Daman more roles. They care, though. They care about victims, though. Sure they fucking do. I attempted to prep Duncan for this the best I could, and moving forward, I don't know that I'll head articles like this in the future because I do not think I can adequately protect sources. Specifically because of third-party interference on 2 ends. Calling out that your coworkers in Anime News Network might have been party to this as well. Looks like the people at Funimation and Sony released the information with a little bit of help from people at Anime News Network, making it a bit easier for them, right? Because let's look at this, folks. Let's be real here, okay? If Anime News Network had actually protected Duncan in this situation. If they had privated his photos, I don't even know why they have his photos on file. If Anime News Network did not leak his photos, it did not leak the messages where his name was not redacted, you could have as many fucking people come out with as many fucking things as you want. There's nothing tying it back to him. Period. Unless Anime News Network releases its fucking photo and name. You could literally have that person jump onto Kiwi Farms and post his entire life. And people would be like, well, there's nothing that actually says that that's who this is in the article. However, there was. There was because someone at Anime News Network made sure there was. Without Anime News Network releasing or leaking that information intentionally, there would be no way for people to track that back to Duncan. Period. If you don't think that this was not intentional, I don't know what to tell you. Lindsay is fucking admitting as much right here. Specifically because third-party interference on two ends. Duncan didn't release his own information. Lindsay didn't release his information. I know that you're trying to say that somebody got into your Anime News Network site and released that info, but you didn't make it very fucking hard, did you? The direct interference by industry members is especially unfortunate because it feeds into a larger toxic narrative. You mean the fucking truth? There's no narrative here, Lindsay. There's no narrative. This is just the industry exposing its fucking rot. People have been calling this out for 3+ years now. And it's been individuals like yourself and like your publication that have been defending it. I've been glossing it over with a new fucking coat of paint every goddamn time it comes out. But now the stink is so fucking pervasive that even you can't stand it. So does the admission of the fabrication. Frankly, I don't trust a large number of people anymore, but I trust my gut. Never trust anybody, period. Always verify. Always verify. I was often able to helm these articles because I don't have allegiance to anyone outside my own integrity, and regardless of what others may think, I still have that. Have a good weekend. You still have that, Lindsay? Then come out and talk about it. Come out and talk about it. You still can't sleep. You need to get it off your shoulders. I'm offering you an opportunity to come out here and share your thoughts openly. I'll sit down and I won't say a fucking word if that's what you want. Come out and talk about it then. You, more than anybody, have the opportunity and the information to blow this out. You know who these people are. You know how disgusting they are, and you know that they're the ones causing the fucking rot. You know they're the ones killing the fucking nerve of the industry. Maybe you know it's beyond saving. Maybe you know it's beyond the point of no return. There's a point, however, where you can sit here and reassure yourself that you have integrity that you have allegiance to only yourself. When you're protecting people like this, you don't. You can tell yourself that. You can convince yourself that all you want. But if you continue to protect these disgusting, vile human beings, then you really don't. And you know that, and I know that. Addendum, it's entirely possible the situation would have ended the same way, but we'll never truly know due to the active attempts at interference, and that's what pisses me off. Wow, it's kind of shitty that, people shit up an entire situation so that you don't get a full answer or something, right? Really sucks when you don't get to go through the actual justice system or the actual proper channels of things so you can get a proper answer on it, instead of just bullshit, screaming back and forth propaganda. Boy, would really suck to have that happen, wouldn't it? Would really suck to be a reporter for a news publication that does that very thing, wouldn't it? Again, Lindsay, doors open. You have an open invitation. Anytime. Set the date, set the time. I'll make it happen. Come on the show and talk about it. One other thing I want to bring up here as well is this absolute penis-headed prick, David Wald. So this, he posted March 18th, 2 days ago, when Anime News Network posted their article. Sometimes, friends, you just have to wait a bit for the whole truth to be revealed. I'm sure you do, buddy. So David Wald is a I guess, failed voice actor, but he's an ADR director. He's an ADR director who's been lusting after Daman Mills, by the way. He's an ADR director / voice actor who's been lusting after Daman Mills. And he's also, oddly enough, someone who fits every criteria for the person that was sending messages to ANN, demanding a retraction, by the way. Also fits the description of the person that's been forcing, like, sending emails and requesting retractions and demanding people stop talking about it. It's audio direction something, I don't know. It's what they call their audio engineers, basically, or the audio directors. It's like the voice coaches. It's like, oh, can you just like be a little bit more like this or whatever else? It's like they tell them how they want to say the lines in the booth and they do the recordings and stuff. You almost got into a fist fight with that guy, Sephi. Oh my god. Yeah, he's a bit of a douche. He's a bit of a douche. So it appears that this guy is potentially one of the individuals who had been threatening Anime News Network and threatening Duncan. JT Plays makes an appearance here. I saw you in the chat earlier. No offense, Dave, but I'm still pretty skeptical. And like all these weirdos, all of these weirdos that are just like, yep, you bet, damn straight, yep. Fucking absolute degenerates. Never in doubt, okay. Don't dare interrupt his panel even if his time is way over. Just a shame it got that far in the first place. Hopefully things can start to mend and heal. I bet you listen to every victim out there. So this thing is so weird, right? Honestly knew something was up because VAs weren't saying anything about it. Really? Never trust a cosplayer, by the way. All these fucking paid actors here. So yeah, he is a voice actor. And he's an ADR director right now. So we see a little bit more here of the darkness inside here. Is this going to show replies? Or is it not going to show replies? No. I saw he was retracting his statement, but like damage is already done. The ones that believed him are still believing him and standing by him. What happened to listen and believe, Nico Pride? David Wald replies, not everyone really wants the truth. This is the most fucking vile, disgusting statement, by the way. Have a good night, Twisted. Good luck in D&D. This is the most vile, disgusting statement, by the way. Not everyone really wants the truth. There are people out there right now who still believe the earth is flat. Some of us take great comfort in ignorance. Humans are mysterious creatures, but they, too, will still hear Daman in my shows. You fucking vile, disgusting creature. David already fully admitting that no matter what, he's still going to employ a child predator. Guess they stick together. Yeah, he's super proud about that. He's super proud about that. Brian Massey with this brilliant piece of information here. The hashtag truth is and always will be compiled by layers upon layers of onions upon onions. I don't know if he meant opinions, but, you know, hey. You want to rethink that statement? Thank you, effing Spidey, too. Still insanely creepy that he was... Thank you, Jellyfish. It's still insanely creepy he was consensual relationship with a minor as an adult. WTF. There you have it. There's more. There's more stuff out there. This is just the stuff that I'm going to show on stream right now. There's more stuff out there. There's more stuff coming out like every fucking 15 minutes, by the way. People are digging stuff up and people are finding stuff up about him and about others. But I don't know how much more, like, I don't know how much more evidence is needed. Sam Flynn. It's good to see you. Much love to Sam. Taking a much needed break from the lunacy. You're kind of shocked at all the benefit of the doubt that's being given to Daman, but like none was given to others in the same situation? Absolutely. Much love to see Sam back. Good to see you. Everybody, no word of a lie, Sam. I had 50 messages from like 50 different people asking me about you, by the way. Good to see that you're all right. Sometimes you just need a break from social media. I totally get that. Sometimes you need a break. I totally get that. But yes, Thomas is definitely the tip of the iceberg. Definitely the tip of the iceberg. And the fact that there are so many people throwing themselves to try and stop this. It is shocking. The same people who were listen and believe are out here. At the end of the day, folks, this is what it comes down to. David Wald's a VA, funny and Sentai among it, yeah. Yep, I know that, Mike. What's Ron's stance on this? He is absolutely on Damon's side. Absolutely. I, for one, am happy that you're okay, Sam. It's good to see you. It's very good to see you. I know there was a ton of people that were super duper worried about you, so. Don't feel bad, Sam. Don't feel bad. Shit happens. Shit happens, and, you know, that's what actual people do. That's what actual people do when they have situations like that. They don't use that as an excuse to be a shitty human being. Ron Toy's next thing will be listen and believe. I don't know what more to say that I haven't already said. I called this, by the way. Last week. I said that this stuff was very odd. It wouldn't surprise me if there are industry people that start pushing this out. Dean Domino 25 with the $4.99 super chat. At this point, you're assuming Damon has dirt on all of them. Me too. I believe that as well. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it. I 100% believe that Damon has dirt on all of them. And I 100% believe if Damon goes down, he has taken them all out with him. 100%. Because Vic didn't do anything to warrant that type of response. He had all these people coming after him because Vic is not vindictive. Vic doesn't have years of dirt on people. Damon admitted to the wrongdoing, and he had leagues of people behind the scenes threatening publications, threatening witnesses into silence. Guarantee you he has stuff on them. Guarantee it does. Who's the most shadiest, deplorable, funny VA? I mean, there's a bunch in the running right now. There's a bunch of them in the running at the moment. We have to keep Andrea, we have to keep this story in the forefront of people's minds. We cannot let this go. We have to get people talking about this. There has to be a clamoring about it because this can't be allowed to continue. Damon is still allowed to have roles despite admitting to this. Scott Thurman did the same freaking thing. He sent unsolicited dick pictures to a minor. And he went on Twitter and admitted it. But he was in a dark place at the time. He's still employed. Disgusting. These people are disgusting. That's exactly the point, Living Shadow 2009. He admitted to it. He said they happened and they were consensual. And Ron Toye is out here saying, well, that happened 7 years ago. He's changed. He's done the work. All right there, wife beater. You can't undiddle a child, dude. It's funny. He doesn't pay him well enough to keep his lights on. Exactly. The double standard here is if you're not part of the clique, then you just ain't part. This is what they wanted to weed out, by the way. Why they didn't want Vic to be. They didn't want Vic to be a director. But you have to ask yourself, why are Funimation VAs now Crunchyroll? Why are Crunchyroll VAs sharing privileged information with somebody like Ron Toye? Exactly, Ken. Somebody tell Damon quick. There's a biblical principle where one who is guilty of a sin calls it out in others. There's a biblical principle called Twitter. It happens fucking every minute on that platform. So that's, I want to keep this one short, folks, so it's digestible. As much as what we've talked about has been absolutely fucking disgusting today. But there you go. That's what I have to share with you today. I couldn't just not talk about this. I couldn't not talk about this. Because it needs to get to an audience. It needs to be shared around. People need to hear this. People need to see this. It needs to be brought up. And for God's sake, Duncan. Number one, Duncan, please, if someone knows how to contact him directly, send me a message. Send me a message on Twitter. If you know how to contact him or get in contact with him, let him know that he has an open invitation to have a conversation either privately or on the show. Dean Domino 25 with the 49 super chat, but Kresk, Vic admitted to hair touching, which means he admitted to hair pulling, which means he did all the bad stuff and he deserves to die. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. If anybody out there knows Duncan, you don't even have to send me his contact information. If you know him or know how to get in contact with him, if you can reach out to him and let him know that there are people out there that support him, there are people out there that want to get the truth and that want to help him. We can do it confidentially. I can facilitate this connection between him and Ken. We can do this offline. We can do this confidentially. We can do this on the show. We can do this whatever way he would like to proceed. Because he's being lied to. I understand it's not his intention to cause harm to Damon. But I also understand this is something that's largely been going on for several years. And Duncan needs some assistance. Because clearly he wouldn't be doing this if he wasn't asking for help. So I'm opening up my inbox. I'll try and facilitate something with Ken if he's open for it. Duncan is open for it, that is. We can get this resolved. If you're worried about your identity, dude, it's already apparently out there. Already apparently out there. If that's the only thing holding you back, if you honestly think that Damon is going to harm himself, I don't know what to tell you. I think that Damon is manipulating. I think that Damon and his friends have been manipulative. I think they've been very guilty of all of these things, and I think their conscience is weighing on them. We'll see where it goes, though. Don't, folks, and don't go and contact Damon. Don't go and contact David. Don't go and contact any people that you may suspect going after Duncan or ANN, because it's useless. Useless, number one. And number two, they want the victim clout. They want the victim clout. Let's focus on the victims. Let's focus on supporting the victims. Actual victims. Not the ones that call themselves victims on Twitter. So, folks, that's going to do it for me today. Nice, short, and sweet stream. I'm going to keep it on point for people that are going to watch it later. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We'll probably be back regular time on Saturday next week. Unless like nothing happens at all, then we'll probably do something else. But we will see you next time. This has been another Canuckleheads, folks. Until next time, keep your stick on the ice. Bye-bye.